WhatsApp is urging its 1.5 billion users to update the app right now. The Facebook-owned company has admitted to a major security breach in its messaging system. The flaw enabled hackers to install advanced surveillance spyware developed by an Israeli cyber firm. That security weakness was discovered earlier this month. It affects both iPhone and Android devices. A fix was rolled out on Friday. Maybe you use WhatsApp. This story could affect you. Our Chase team has reached out to security and hacking expert Kevin Mitnick. He was once known as the world's most wanted hacker. I don't know if you want that title, but he's got it. Today, he is CEO of MitnickSecurity.com, and we've reached him in Clearwater, Florida. Kevin, you know, I'm a tech idiot. Let's call it what it is. I was under the impression WhatsApp, they said it was going to be safe, it was going to be secure. So really, for all the non-experts out there, how could something like this happen?
Well, the problem is a lot of these applications are developed by application developers. There are millions of lines of code, and people make mistakes. And what happens is security researchers find these flaws, and they're able to develop what they call exploit code to take advantage of these flaws and do exactly what was done in this case. Apparently, this Israeli company who sells these cyber weapons to nation states had this exploit as part of their bag of tricks, and it was pretty scary because all an adversary would have to do was actually ring your phone over WhatsApp, and then they would have the ability to install malware. So it's a huge wake-up call that these threats actually exist, and in a lot of cases, you know, other vulnerabilities that we don't know about today are being used to do the same thing.
And you're a guy who used to exploit those vulnerabilities. I mean, #1 hacker wanted in the world. Were you surprised when you heard about this?
Well, I was pretty shocked about it having this particular flaw requires no interaction of the user.
Right.
So it was pretty scary. And it made me think, I was thinking, well, you know, who would have access to this exploit? Who would have the funds to do this? And this would be nation state or law enforcement. Then I'm thinking, would they have any reason to target me? I don't really think so. This type of exploit wouldn't be available to the criminal-based type of hackers because, you know, simply can't afford to buy these cyber weapons. So, you know, I was thinking, well, what are the chances that IP could be a victim of this? And regardless, you know, what everyone should obviously do is update the app as soon as possible. But if you're concerned that you could have been a victim of this attack, you could just reinstall the iOS operating system on your Apple device using iTunes. And that way it wipes everything out that's been there before.
Until the next time, though?
Until the next time. Unfortunately, we're powerless to stop these, what we call zero-day exploit. What a zero-day exploit, what that actually means is a security researcher found a flaw and they never reported it to companies like Apple so they could fix it, so they could use it for offensive work to actually compromise the phones of any targets that they have in their eyesight.
Okay, a question for you, might be dumb to you, but I don't know the answer. You can also use WhatsApp on your computer, so does that mean that some people's computers were also hacked?
No, this was just on the mobile device.
Okay.
How that hack worked under the hood, it was basically the interaction over VoIP, which is voice over IP communications, and it would only affect mobile devices. So if you have a mobile device like an iPhone or an Android device, this is where you could potentially be victimized.
Now, I just want to go back to something you mentioned about the Israeli cyber intelligence company. According to the Financial Times, it was NSO Group that developed this spyware. Let me ask you this. Is it common to know who is behind an attack, a hack so quickly?
Not really. I don't know how it was attributed to NSO Group, but NSO Group is a private company in Israel that is known for developing cyber weapons for law enforcement and for countries around the world. What is concerning, though, is they sell their cyber weapons to countries that might use it against dissidents and might use it to persecute people that are saying bad things about the country or its leadership.
Kevin, as a former hacker, are there any safe and secure messaging applications, like anywhere.
I prefer to use Signal. It's absolutely free. It's developed with security in mind. Now, does that mean there's no flaws in Signal? I have no idea. There could potentially be other what we call zero-day vulnerabilities in Signal, but I prefer to use Signal. If you're really concerned about an adversary gaining access to the phone, what an adversary has to do is first identify what phone you're using. So if you need to have super secure communications, you could go buy a burner device, a burner cell phone, and use that for your ultra secure communications. As long as you don't call the same people or log into your real email account with the burner phone, it's unlikely it's going to be identified, and you keep it separate. That's if you're doing like maybe day trading, and you might have some ideas on what companies might be profitable out there, and you want to keep it super secret, or something like that. Or you're a journalist and you're dealing with an investigation, and you have to keep it super secret. You might consider getting the burner device, because at the end of the day, the bad guy has to know what your device, has to know your device, has to know the cell phone number, has to know what device belongs to you.
All right. Kevin, I don't want to say happy hacking, but it's great to have you on the program. Okay, you have a good day.
Well, Savannah, it's a pleasure to be on your show, and I look forward to speaking with you again in the near future.
Excellent. Hacking expert Kevin Mitnick joining me from Clearwater, Florida.